one of the final Champions League games before the competition got postponed on March the 11th. Part of the Brexit theme of the early part of the Champions League, all Premier League teams are going to get knocked out of the round of 16. That symbolizes the time that Britain officially withdrew from the European Union. That was January the 31st of 2020. And in the first leg over at London, that was a successful blitzkrieg. That was 3-0 in favor of Bayern Munich. In effect, with the second leg over at München, Chelsea being really young against Bayern Munich, they didn't stand a chance against Bayern. And the main thing with this game is that this game is going to symbolize it symbolizes the Brexit theme, and it symbolizes the turn of events right before the cancellation or the postponement, I should say, of the Champions League. It hasn't been canceled yet, but they are going to play the game at a later time. They're going to play the final in most likely late June to mid-July, and they're going to try to conclude the Champions League by June the 30th on June the 27th. It's England, it's vaccine, it's COVID-2020. That's going to negatively impact England if they can't get any help from the European Union, if they're all by themselves in isolation. I mean, this is in effect a 3-for-3 currently in English teams getting knocked out in the Champions League in the round of 16. We've seen Tottenham get knocked out, we've seen Liverpool get knocked out, and Chelsea would make it 3 of 3 before Manchester City and Real Madrid. In effect, that's what this tie being 3-0 is all about, is the fact that the game was played at England, that this is going to negatively impact the country, that this cancellation occurred because of the coronavirus. This is one of the last games to be played before for the Champions League, and it is the coronavirus. It's Corona that equals 30. And notice how it's Bayern and it's pandemic that equals 65, and this is one of the last games out there, and there would be one of the remaining teams left in the field entering the round of 16. We have 10 teams in the competition, the 8 teams, and then the 2 teams that still need to play their second legs and are thus the eliminated teams, but they're still in the hunt. We'll talk about Juventus, Lyon, and Real Madrid and Manchester City. That Real Madrid and Juventus are going to be in those ties. How about February the 25th of the date numerology of 2040? Notice how that is a date numerology of 67. You see the events happening in Italy that is causing this competition to be postponed, the origin of a virus over at Wuhan. And this game summarizes the Brexit theme right now and its profound negative economic impact it's going to have on Boris Johnson. I mean, how does Johnson figure into the equation? Johnson equals 32. It's crisis that has gematria 32. How about Boris? Boris has gematria of 63 and 27. I think I forgot what other 63 references I had with this coronavirus, but Boris Johnson, for instance, in gematria equals 158 and 59. It's stock market crash. That equals 59, and also it is the recession that has gematria 59, and these are all events. These are all events that can happen for the global economy right before the U.S. 59th quadrennial election. And quite frankly, you start to see how these political themes connect to these sporting events. Let's just try Merkel, for instance. This is a 28th Champions League, and she tested positive for the coronavirus. By the way, it's Angela Merkel, and I think she tested positive out there for the coronavirus, and she equals the same gematria as Wuhan and then Italy. And so you're going to start to see this matching gematria reference with many world leaders out there. Um, 3-0 has everything to do with the cancellation. I should say, once again, the postponement of the Champions League. It's not going to be canceled. Makeup dates and makeup schedules can be announced later. We can even see one-legged affairs or whatnot, but the Champions League will be concluded. It is going to adversely impact economies, local bars across Europe. If football is not being played, they're going to try to get play resuming at some point.